Hello and welcome everyone to episode 176 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derrick, and I'm joined by a wonderful co-host and freelance letterer, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, freelance manga letterer. Blah, blah. Anyway, this week is something I've been looking forward to a lot. Because if maybe you're like Derrick and you're kind of getting caught up on the series, you're maybe coming back to it after a while, and maybe you kind of heard some things, just kind of, some spoilers or some like concepts are kind of unavoidable. But I feel like this is one of those weeks where like, if you kind of know a little bit, you kind of learn, oh, you know nothing, actually. It kind of throws a wrench into it.
The entire concept of how we're gonna how we deal with Big Mom was just flipped on its head for me. There are so many possibilities running through my head, which we'll get into in the actual episode. I don't want to break it all out right now, but let's just say the simplistic idea I had for how the arcs would progress, toss it out. Toss it out. Like, this isn't a Frieza into Android into Cell type arc where it's just like, this is the next threat, this next threat, this next threat. No, it's just, it's not even just a matter of things are weaving into each other. It's I can't confirm who the next big villain is at this point anymore. And that threw me for a loop.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
In classic One Piece fashion, right? It's complicated. Everything is a little more complicated than you might think it is on the surface, and just like Oda has these ways of having these extra little twists, these little, in this case, in this week, kind of a big twist, but really kind of playing with your preconceived notions. And I think for the next like what we have left of the story is going to be so much of that. Is so much of, you would kind of think it would be like this on paper, but like in reality, and he might even he might get to where you think he was going to go originally, but he's just going to take some really like weird and interesting steps to get there.
I think, and again, this is something else I'll get into with this one. I think I know how the rest of the arc is going to play out for the most part. There's some finer details that I'm not sure of, but I think based on where it ends, I have an idea about how the rest of the arc is going to play out. So we'll see how that works out or not. I don't know.
Oh yes,
but I'm gonna get some theory time. It's been a while since we've had theory time.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I feel like this is a really good arc for theory time.
Yeah. So let's say we actually get to these chapters, because holy crap. Beginning with chapter 811, Roko. And starting us off with a color spread, which is just kind of nice. That's all I really have to say about it. Just doing some laundry, getting some groceries. It's okay. Why not?
Yeah, it's cute. I like that it's the sort of the East Blue originals and Chopper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, always have to have Chopper in there, it seems.
Yep.
But yeah, we start off with a flashback because we learned that Jack's men used gas against the Minks, one of Caesar's gas, and of course he is just pleased as punch with himself.
Caesar, he's kind of my again, I hate this man with every fiber of my being. In this set, he's so funny.
He is that perfect tag along that you would just not expect. Like, you would think you would hate this character. It's like, oh, why is he still here? But then you're okay with it because, he's all pleased with punch with himself. It's like, this is my gas named Koro, a killer gas of my own making. And then Chopper just beats the crap out of it. It's like, why am I the bad guy? I wasn't the one who used it. And it's just like, there would be no victims if you didn't make it in the first place. So you can neutralize the gas with your own power, right? Do it now. So
also, not that it really matters. I don't think Koro has like a like a direct literal meaning in Japanese, but it's kind of close to kill.
Oh, okay. Every time I hear Koro in Japanese, I just think of frogs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Caesar tries to talk his way out of it. He's like, don't just assume that the losers were the good guys. The Minks are known for their hatred. It's like, we'll just see what happens here. And then we get the stuff that we saw while we were still in Dressrosa with the rain, the threatening of the heart, Sanji taking out the one dude, and Sheep's Head, and then they finally left and said there was no samurai. It took all that time, and that's where we would have left off. We left off before, but where we continue is Caesar actually using his ability to neutralize all the Koro cast, which is called Roko, which
it's a reverse. Yeah, that's fun.
That was cute, but all the gas dissipates. The Minks are definitely in rough shape, but it's safe now, and let's go see what's happening here, and just seeing the devastation of it all. It is like, oh boy, this is rough.
Yeah. That's I think Sanji kind of has the right idea here. That they could have done something as drastic. Like they could still be hiding in great numbers somewhere. And of course, they're still kind of very untrusting or kind of very suspicious of the Minks, which, I feel like it comes naturally as we see Wanda here. Just, it's on site.
She thinks they were Jack, so she attacks immediately. Yes. It's like no, it's okay. She's weakened by the gas, and like if Nami's saying that, Wanda's not feeling well.
Yeah. Which, well, not that it matters anyway, because she came packing heat.
Yeah, she did. She's ready to blow herself up, take them all out. It's like just the tears. It's like, what do you stand to gain by killing us? The one you seek is not here. How much of our 1,000-year history must you destroy before you're satisfied? And that's when somebody else comes in and is like, no, they saved me, Wanda. And all of Jack's men have already left the island. And that's when who we learned is Pedro comes in and is like, they have no connection to Jack. It was thanks to their on magic that the poison gas is gone from the city. So we're okay. And that's when Chopper takes over. It's like, over a day has passed since the gas is spread here. If we don't cleanse and detox those who were hit within a 48-hour window, it may be too late to save them. So we got to get to it. And honestly, this section kind of got me to, not fully, but kind of tear up.
Yeah.
Just because they've been devastated so much, and just to see the Straw Hats like Chopper working and applying the medicine, and Sanji and Brooke fixing up Cat Viper and everybody else, and getting everybody back into a fighting fit state. It's affecting. Like, I even see Beppo like hugging Nami. He's like so grateful.
Yeah, I love again Caesar just in the background grumbling like, oh, how dare you? How dare you make me help people?
I don't like this, but you get to see how they save this country. And
and you understand why they, as we got here in the present time, like, oh, they really do see the Straw Hats as their saviors, and just kind of as Wanda says coming out of the flashback, like, you had no idea who you were, and yet you rushed to save our lives, and that's the Straw Hats, baby.
And then we got Frankie with just a pool below him with all the manly tears he cried because of true heroes.
Of course.
And then of course got Luffy here just declaring, he's like, man, that Jack guy really ticks me off. Someday I'm gonna whoop him along with Kaido, and that brings to mention, because boy howdy, we have never gotten so many comments about a clarification on something. From all sides, because we said that we misremembered that I'm blank. Why am I blanking on Jinbei? Jeez. That Jinbei said that there were pretty much no bounties above 500,000. What is actually being said is that it's extremely rare to go above 500,000. It's basically it's so high. What's the point of raising it any further? The only reason it would go up any further is because, well, you did something really terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, because I saw those comments, I actually went to this list, like the first thing I did when I woke up today was, I hunted down what chapter he said that in, and so I'm wondering if this is a case of maybe the anime might have a different wording or a different translation that is maybe a little bit more clear. Because in the version we read, we didn't misremember it. Jinbei says, once a bounty passes 300 million, it usually doesn't go up anymore, which I think is pretty, like, clear-cut. Like,
yeah, the usually is lifting a lot of weight there.
Yeah. I could see why we looked at that and we're like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And so if there's... I could see if that was maybe sort of misread or mistranslated to be like, okay, you know, it is, if it is more implying that, like, you have to be really rare to go above 300 mil. I still think it's kind of a weird statement to make, considering, like, from the reader's perspective, we're dealing with all the threats that are going higher and higher and higher. But in terms of contextualizing Luffy's bounty, I can at least understand that you know, there's kind of a 300 million barrier. I can accept that.
Yeah,
but
I will. Seems to be like a 500 million barrier, where 500 million seems to be the upper echelon. You don't really go much higher than that, or if you do go really much higher than that, it takes a lot. Which, if that was better explained, that would really raise up. Like, holy crap! What the hell did this dude do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still fairly telling that we got to Jack. We straight up jumped another 500 million. I almost said 500K. Another 500 million from, like, kind of where we knew bounties to be, like, in this range, to, like, boom, here's the next step. And it's not even an emperor. We don't even know the emperor bounties. We just got, like, you know, his third right-hand man is a Billy.
I don't think we ever learned Whitebeard's bounty, did we?
No.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who knows what that would be? But yeah, that's just some clarification on all of that. But Brooke goes in and is like, as for Jack's obituary, it's really hard to believe if he actually is dead. It's like, no, there's no way he's dead. No way he's dead. And basically, Chopper's like, I gotta get going because now that it's night, I gotta do my night examinations on Cat Viper and the Guardians of the Whale Forest. So, you know, they're gonna take Warney, the crocodile, and head over there. And Wanda's still fine because she's a special officer known as a Kingsbird with the unique status that allows her to act as a go-between between the two kings. So while Darkstorm here is, you know, sleeping, she gets to go over, and of course the rest of them are going to join because let's meet the cat viper. Let's meet this guy.
Viper, yeah.
And
I kind of sorry.
Oh no, go ahead
I love that Brooke says I'm very fond of that fellow, and I'm kind of like, I'm wondering if it's because the cats don't like bones.
That's exactly the thing I was going to mention, is that it's because they don't eat bones. Nobody tries to gnaw on them here, so he's like, my escape. I am out of here.
Yeah.
And they've got a full moon. There's still these mentions about full moons, and fortunately the clouds are thick. So something happens with a full moon.
Oh!
The minks.
Wow! I completely didn't clock that.
They must go
feral
right, or something.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah. If it's gonna happen, you'd think it would happen around now, but it seems unlikely. But we'll see. But yeah, we also Carrot is also a Kingsbird, so she has that ability. Also, just a small thing. I love how Luffy always has to be as forward as can be. Like, he's just
as far front.
Yeah, chilling on top of the crocodile's mouth or nose.
That's great. I love these weird crocodiles. I love I love that this is just how we get from one place to another. Like, it's such a non-issue, but.
Mm-hmm. And Brooker basically explains, is like, we have not told the minks much about what else has happened to us. They've been through so much that we didn't want to worry them any further, for at least most of them. What happened was only 2 days ago. So prepare yourselves for Brook is afraid that Sanji might never return to their side. And the reason we find out the reason Luffy wasn't worried is like, but it said he'd come right back in his letter. It's like, and that's when Nami yells back, what did I tell you? The situation is more dire than it seems. The island itself is practically illusion. It's a living animal, so you can't even find it with a log pose, much less reach it. But unfortunately, we made a mistake and failed to take one thing into account. When we first pulled away from the enemy ship, we let them hear our destination, so they knew how to get there. And on that ship was a resident of the mysterious island. So in other words, 2 days ago, the Big Mom pirates appeared, and bam, Peckham is a freaking mink, which Zoe is his hometown. And I said this to you before. I think this confirms it in my mind. Like I was reading or editing or reading one point of the previous set of chapters, and I said to you, "Are the monkey guys from Jaya minks?" And I think this confirms it, because there's definitely minks out and about in the world beyond Zoe. Those monkey men that hang out because I forget their names, that hung out, that we met in Jaya, have to be minks.
I would totally believe that.
This is the case. Like,
and I find it really funny too, because we learned, I think this was back when we first got introduced to Peckhams at Fishman Island. He has a devil fruit, right? He has like a shell thing. Oh yeah,
it became like a turtle type thing.
Yeah. So we were like, so what? Right. That was kind of a bit of a tease of like, wait, so is he a lion, or like what is he?
Well, I put out the idea of like, is he a turtle lion, like what we saw in Avatar? I think I said. It's like, what is going on here? And it's. Damn you, Oda, for so good at just taking those elements that you don't like, you're curious about, but you're like, I don't quite get it.
Yeah, you don't quite know what it's like. I guess it's interesting because it's not quite as random as like the random animal people you see in like Dragon Ball who are just kind of part of the setting or whatever. We haven't seen that many minks outside, but we've certainly seen some.
Right. Enough that there's enough strange body types in One Piece that it works.
Yeah.
Like many would declare the weakness of Oda's artwork, at least early on, is that the people look so weird, but it works because it allows him to just work in just like multiple people and be like, no, these are races. These are actually different people. It's just that they are different from standard people, and it's just like, okay, you just accept it. Mm-hmm. So fascinating. I'm like, saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is happening next? Oh gosh. But we do have an SBS, and it's basically all birthdays.
All birthdays. And I love Oda's like, keep them coming as long as there's no repeats. Like, come on.
Yep. It's like, whoever gets there first wins. Let's just take them. I don't care. So let's get to our next chapter, 812, Capone Gang Beige. And time to see how Kokoyashi's doing. And I love how what is it? Gent.
Oh God, what is his name?
It's been so long.
I think it's just. Is it just Gen?
It might be just Gen.
Or like it's like Gen something.
Something
maybe.
like that.
Or maybe just Gen. I don't remember.
Either way, I love how he has it blown up, so it's just like this massive picture of Nami because he's so proud of her. But it's also like, why is it so problematic? Why is it so sexy?
Yes,
this is too sexy for this poster. How dare you choose this for her? I love that overprotective dad sense.
Yeah, it's very much a very protective dad, and I like that. Nojiko's just happy to see her.
Yeah, it's hard to say how much Nojiko's changed looking at her. You know.
Yeah, I'd have to see them back to back.
Yeah, it seems.
Well, wait. I feel like her hair wasn't that long.
It might. I think she. I think she grew it out. I think she might have extended her tattoo. That tattoo seems more.
I think so too.
Depth, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely have to see both side by side to tell, though.
Yeah. Interesting. Of course, Gen's no different. He's just what it is.
Well, he used to have. Where's the pinwheel?
Yeah. Oh, he had left the pinwheel at Belmare's.
Oh,
grave
you're right.
You're
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Good memory.
I can't believe I do remember that. It's funny how certain details just stick out with you.
Right. Yeah.
But speaking of Bege, yeah, he's just right here with Peckoms. It's him and Peckoms, not our egg guy.
Oh yeah. I kind of like that they both have sunglasses.
It's the exact same sunglasses too.
Yeah. And of course, poor Peckoms is like, this is my hometown. Like, was it the Straw Hats? Like, who did this to this?
Oh, he is pissed. And he's ready to hunt down and take care of whoever did this to the town. But instead, we move over to the right flank fortress, and we basically get an explanation for why Nami and Wanda are dressed as they are. The trading of clothes is a sign of friendship. So, and the clothes that Nami gets are a national treasure, which, boy, it really is just a couple strings just holding things together.
Yeah. The line, the exchange of clothes, I think just unlocked something in my brain, but I can't.
Oh, really?
We'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay. But Sanji loves policy of Garchu.
Sanji is confirmed furry.
Yes. Sanji is confirmed. Is it a woman? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
He is down for the all these mink ladies.
Yes, the Garchu, like, you really love your greetings, and he's just, is this some miraculous magic spell? And of course, the guys are like, we want to Garchu our savior. And he's just, no love for the males.
Viva physical minctimacy. And of course he sees Nami, he's all about it and gets punched away because that's a Lupin gag essentially. But I am curious about this because Momo is still holed up in his room, and all they say is it seems to keep him calm. So I don't know what's up with that.
I think I do.
It has to have some sort of connection. I would wager to the fact that the Jack was hunting down, was it Kaizo? No, Raizo.
Yeah.
And so maybe he has concern for Raizo. It's hard to. That's my best guess, but
yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I feel like a young child here would feel very uncomfortable, but as Brooke says, kind of like, maybe it's kind of better if he hasn't seen it as human form.
Brooke has really stepped up as kind of the smart one all of a sudden.
Especially among this group. And I also love that Caesar has gone from reluctantly helping to saying like, I fulfilled my quota, I'm a genius, and then Chopper's just like, more, stop slacking.
And of course Cat Lady comes for more medicine. He puts on glasses, he's like, I'm the medicine man, Cedar, not Caesar. And he's just like, curses, why must I make medicine to help people?
Yes.
But of course Brooke has some fans.
Yes.
With the canons waiting outside. We noticed that with this mink here, her dress is actually very similar to Nami's. Just to it matches hers.
Yeah. Let's just.
But Peckoms get here, and it's like, oh, Peckoms is adorable, where he's just like, oh, you're all alive and well. Daddy, Mommy, family, and friends. My heart nearly stopped when I saw the city. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's all thanks to the Straw Hat crew. And
I love what we see of Peckoms in this set, too. Because, again, when we originally met him, he was, kind of not unlike Bege, right? Like, he's kind of the... very mob bossy, with the way, he was acting in Fishman Island, but kind of seeing the side of him where he's just a big softy.
It's like, it immediately warmed my heart to Peckoms.
Yeah.
Apparently he was a problem child around here though, so that makes a bit of sense. And, and that's when Caesar sees him. It's like, oh, they heard we were here. They're after me. Please, just don't hand me over.
Yeah. Don't say that. We're bros. That they are. Sanji's ready to just
it's like, we don't really need you. We dealt with Doflamingo, so why do we need you? So they can have you. Whatever. And it's like, what did you do to Big Mom? It's like, well, I accepted a grant for some research, but I wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I lied to them and pocketed all the funds instead. And, I had Doflamingo backing me, so I got carried away.
It sounds like you earned this. It's like, yeah. He's terrible. That's why he's funny. Yeah.
It says something about Doflamingo's protection that is enough to hold off one of the emperors.
Yeah, very much so. And I guess being connected to Doflamingo means you're being connected to Kaido, so I guess you would actually, and Caesar kind of said it himself. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of good. Like, I'm kind of well protected.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong, but he definitely has enemies. But of course, Sanji remembers is like, all right, if they just want Caesars, that's all fine. But the problem is Luffy picked a fight, and we did bust up their ship. So, not good. And that's when Caesar's like trying to be devil in his ear. He's like, should we work together and get rid of those two? And Sanji says nothing. And it's like, let's see what happens here. And, basically Caesar wants to assassinate him. And Sanji's like, I'm not taking advice from idiots who don't consider the consequences.
Yeah, so. Fair enough. So they have a little bit of a meeting here.
Yeah, him and Brook meet up with Bege and Peckoms. And that's when Peckoms is like, look, the only thing I can say is thanks, and he immediately starts rubbing up against Sanji. It's like, you're my saviors. How can I ever thank you for this? And that's when he starts saying, it's like, Mama's orders were to capture Caesar, which we've been working on, but there's a new order that's bound to spell disaster for the Straw Hats, so that settles it. The mission's a failure. Just give us Caesar. I'll explain to Mama that we let the Straw Hats escape. And that's when Bege is like, no, have you lost your mind? Never make your business personal. And Peckin's like, no, I'm going to take the fall for it. I can't do anything to the people who saved the lives of my family and friends. And that's when Bege just straight up shoots him in the back.
Yeah. And as we see, he just pulls out his hand. And as we see a bunch of little guys inside of his hand who shot him.
And Peckoms is down. He's like,
wow.
Crap. Bege is all in on Big Mom.
Yeah, right. Like, and again, that obviously, like, as Peckoms calls him the new guy, so it's just like, that Peckoms was ready to, like, I could take the fall for it. But no, Bege here he's all business. Yeah,
he's like, he let emotions get in. That let us call his shots. He's useless, so I'm gonna do the job. And that's when he has all the soldiers inside his body jump on out and surround them. And he's like, oh, you're outmanned. He's like, you know how I am, right? I'm considered to be a member of the same generation alongside your captain. And he has the castle fruit, a castle man. The fire tank pirates bounty of 300 million.
As we can see, this actually is one of my favorite devil fruits, actually. It's really sick.
This devil fruit is so wild. It makes you wonder which Bege is the real one. I think I get how it works, where the outside Bege is just that one, but he can also go inside. Like, it is a wild power. You hear castle, it's like not how you'd expect.
Yeah, it's warping space-time.
It is freaky, and the fact that these guys just hang out there just fine, just being with them. It's a wild power, but I kind of love it.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that it feels very like, like you could make the weird joke of like, get inside me, but no, he owns it, right? He's like, no, I've got a whole army of men just hanging out in my castle that is my body.
I could have hit him with cannons too, but we were trying to keep quiet, so it's our best interest.
He's immediately cool. I feel like this is really our first time seeing him since Sabaody, kind of in action. So it's great to finally get this.
You get a sense. This is a much better sense of how capable he is, and it's like, oh, geez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's also aware that Nami and Chopper and Caesar were all nearby because they were curious because there's only 2 of them, and they're get them all captured. And I love how he just tricks Caesar as well. It's like, you got 2 seconds before my men point C prism stone shotgun skyward, and Caesar falls out of the trees like, no, I'm here, don't shoot, I'm okay. So, okay, cool. I don't have any C prism stone bullets, but I do have this spear, so that's how it takes care of
He's just, oh god, he's just a pure gangster.
So it's time to come into my castle. That is in order, and that's when we get the wild stuff where they Peckoms is bleeding out. Bege is just sitting there, like standing there motionless. His eyes are kind of blank behind it, which makes me think, is his body just the castle and his actual mind is just, well, we see him form out of the chair like it's sort of a goop. So is that just him able to make himself appear wherever, or like there's still some bits and pieces of what he's all about that I'm curious about.
Certainly.
Yeah, there's like basically, is his real body the small one that we see here, or the big one that is running that's running around outside?
It's a real philosophical question, It's like, who are we but not just, tiny people driving around in flesh mechs?
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah.
I also love how his castle is just decorated with pictures of himself.
Yes, of course. He knows who he is.
Oh, yeah. So he offers him dinner, wine. Caesar's convinced he's going to die, but
not to distract from the point too much. Okay. I would not want to eat anything inside of this man's body.
That is a terrible idea.
That's disgusting.
God, I don't even want to think about that. But basically he's like, so impatient. Well, since we met at sea 1 week ago, circumstances have changed. I have an invitation for you here for Mama's tea party, you see. The main event this time is a wedding. The groom is Sanji, 3rd son of the Vinsmoke family, the bride, Pudding, 35th daughter of the Charlotte family. What?
It's time. It's time. It's time.
So
Sanji's getting married.
Yeah, Sanji's getting married, and it's time for me to reveal something. I didn't know the context of this, but I enjoy watching Team 4 Star's content. And one of the things they did a long time ago was a tier list of worst dads. And I was like, oh, I can watch this just fine. I don't care about some of these other things that might get revealed here or there. And I've forgotten most of them because I don't pay attention. The ones that they mentioned that I wasn't aware of, I've forgotten at this point because I don't pay attention to those manga. But then they brought up One Piece and mentioned like Sanji's dad. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And I skipped that section so quick. I'm like, all I knew is oh, at some point Sanji's dad comes out. It comes into play. And I have no idea in what form, other than he's kind of seems to be a bad dude. So when I saw this happen, it's like, oh, it's time. Time for me to learn this. It's still a shock because have we heard Vinsmoke before?
No,
I feel it.
That is completely new.
Okay,
that is completely new.
I was like stretching my thought ahead. Like mine trying to did we hear that before? I don't think so. But I also was like, have we heard Charlotte before? And I feel like yes, but I forget the context.
Well, we're about to find out.
Well, I know the context, but I'm wondering if there's another context that.
Oh, okay.
Did I theorize things during Thriller Bark that on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Did I? That's the big thing I want to confirm is did I theorize that on the podcast or was it in private between the two of us?
I'm pretty if it was on the podcast or privately, I feel like it was on the podcast, but I'm not 100% sure. Somebody will have to go back and check for us. Yeah, because I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that it's like, oh, is this theory that I think I had going to be confirmed? Just the way just something about it made me wonder. Just because of my vague knowledge of what was to come. So, I don't know. Yeah. But it's exciting nonetheless. Like, all of a sudden,
yeah,
the sheer idea that we've known Sanji for this long, and all of a sudden, there's more.
Yes, there's more, and I can. It's one of those things that was kind of like obviously like a joke, because even like in the SBSs and stuff, people were like, "Oh, Sanji." If you translate it literally, it could be kind of, you could sort of get the meaning that it could mean third son. So it was like, oh, does he have, is there is there a 1 and a 2 basically if Sanji's 3, and it turns out Sanji is the third son of the Vince Smoke family.
Man,
so
Oda played that close to his chest.
There probably is a 1 and 2.
Oh my god!
I also love the implication that the Big Mom has at least 35 daughters.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are
big
actual daughters or adopted daughters. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess she's Big Mom for a reason. Truly, everybody's mother.
The implications from this and how we go forward is so good.
I feel like we have just the implications have clicked, right? Like again, I've been teasing all this time, like, Whole Cake Island is Big Mom's territory, but it is like there is a but something that I've been waiting, just sitting on my hands and knees, like there's a whole other thing that this is about, and here it is.
This is seeing that ending. I'm like, go on.
I have a few more thoughts. I think I'll probably wait until next chapter, but this certainly really does throw a wrench into the status quo. Well, it already has. Sanji's gone. He's already left.
Yeah. We do have an SBS. Not much to really say about. Just here's the ships of the various people that are helping out Luffy's fleet.
Yeah.
So
I love how they all have names. Bartolomeo's just the weird ship.
Yes. Cavendish is all fancy with Sleeping Forest White Steed.
Man.
But let's not waste any time. Get to chapter 813, Tea Party Invitation. And I'm glad that because we have Brook here, we just get to see checkups on Laboon.
Yeah, Laboon, he's in good spirits, and Crocus is here just chilling.
Reading about current events, gets that mail, and I wonder if he recognizes Brook.
That's a good. I wonder how because he didn't have the afro.
No, he had the afro back in the day. That's how he would Laboon would recognize.
Oh yeah,
he's always
wasn't as big.
Yeah, it wasn't as big, but I have to imagine. I hope Crocus recognizes it.
Yeah,
and that can let Laboon know, but I don't know. that's a big question I have for these.
God, just the Laboon thing really does feel like that is like one thing we're going to have to get like once they reach the other side of the
that
Grand
has
Line.
to be an epilogue. I need to see that reunion.
Yeah, that is that Oda has made a promise, and I need him to keep it.
Oh gosh. And of course we get into the chapter itself, and all of them are just reacting to, wait, a tea party? That's Sanji's wedding? What? And Sanji takes it, tosses his cigarette, and just like, why now? You think? And Bege is like, I don't know. You think I care? And he burns the invitation. That's how much contempt he has for it.
Yeah, no, he's not having this. And that's the interesting thing too, right? Is that, like, even at this point, because God, I love that it is Sanji of all characters who's getting set up for a wedding, and you would think Sanji, or like, oh, he's the horn dog, he's the one who loves women. So you think that he would be jumping at the chance. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get married. This is what you want. But he's pissed.
Mm-hmm. It is a fascinating turn of events, and obviously there's a reason he has not mentioned his family in the 780 odd chapters that we've known him.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. He doesn't seem too fond of it.
No, not a bit. But it's well known enough. The Vince Smoke family name is well known enough that Brook recognizes it. So they've been around. They've been a thing for a while. That establishes that.
Seems like it.
Yeah. It's he's like, basically, who would set this kind of thing up on their own? It's like, well, obviously your family. Looks like the apple fell pretty far from the tree in this case, so let's get some wine out here. And that's when Nami starts remembering stuff about Sanji, talking the little bits of Sanji's past. It's like, oh, you've read about Nolan the Liar? It says it was published in North Blue. It's like, yeah, I was born in the North Blue. And I thought you were from the East. It's like, no, I was raised in the East. Well, never mind.
Yeah. And it's great too, because God, that was, Jaya all the way back then, where, and now, Nami says, like, I thought it was strange at the time, and as Brooke says, like, yeah, to go from the North Blue to the East Blue, you have to cross the red line, so that's not a typical family move.
No, that takes a lot, and it's something early on that you see that and you don't think about it, because you don't fully know how the world works at that point, but when you do see how it works, it's like, how did he do that? How does that happen?
Yeah.
Does that happen often?
And as we obviously what we know of Sanji's backstory, with Zeph and with the Baratier, that was all, like, he was already in the East Blue by that point. So whatever happened between then and now, must have happened while he was really young.
We are due for a second Sanji flashback, and that's exciting. We don't
Isn't
get
that
that
crazy?
For Straw Hats. We don't get that.
You think we're gonna double dip?
I don't think anybody else is capable of having a double flashback.
Yeah, I guess really. I guess because his origins are so vague.
Yeah,
we meet him up to a point. I could see somebody like Frankie maybe, because he was like abandoned by his parents for pirates or whatever. But yeah, it is certainly like I like what Oda is doing here, because it is kind of saying, like, no, like, yeah, we're 800 chapters in, like, I can add stuff and it doesn't feel kind of like hokey. It doesn't. Well, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Well, he already pulled it off with Luffy, where we had his flashback, and then we got a second flashback that took place after that one, where it's more about his relationship with Ace and Sabo. So
yeah, and that's, I feel like, it's a good thing to establish, right? That, like, the Straw Hats, they are characters who have lived full lives, and just because we see their backstory as kind of like the quote unquote, like, defining moment of their childhood that sort of defines them as people now, like, that doesn't necessarily have to be it. And I like that Oda was clearly setting this up, at least since Jaya, at least since saying, like, oh yeah, Sanji's from the North Blue.
I feel
Don't
like
worry about that.
Him being from the North Blue was mentioned in just an SBS. Even before,
I think so too.
Even before Jaya.
That sounds familiar. I would believe that. Yeah, so it's one of those things that I think once we kind of see it, once we see more of, like, the Vin smokes and stuff, because clearly, there's more going on with them, and I wouldn't totally believe that they were always set up like that from the beginning necessarily, but, like, clearly Oda has had some, like, we're gonna do some more stuff with Sanji later, and again, as I just talked about before, he's the third son, so
yeah, and I'm fascinated to see how he gets the whole idea of the all blue in his mind. How did he get this interest in cooking right off the bat? That he became part of just this random crew that got the cooking crew that got then ransacked by Zeph. So there's a lot of moving pieces here that it's going to be fun to see how Oda lays them out.
Yeah. Derrick, I think are anybody listening right now is just, like, grinning ear to ear. There's some good stuff in here.
But yeah, as Caesar says, Charlotte is Big Mom's family name. So you're saying that he's going to marry Big Mom's daughter. And I was this the first time we've heard that Charlotte is Big Mom's family name?
No, I don't think. I think we know her full name.
Okay,
I'm trying to remember
her full name. I'm trying to remember how often we've heard full names. It's there's little bits here and there that I'm blanking on. Obviously I know certain later things that tie into it, and it just confirms it. So, I don't know how much was set up for this. But
I'm pretty sure we know Big Mom's full name. It's Charlotte Linlin. I think we heard that in Fishman Island.
Okay,
I want to say.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So, but Chopper immediately freaks out. He's like, "Wait, you're going to be one of the family with one of the four emperors, Sanji?" And Caesar's just like, "No, if one of your people becomes related by blood, you're all essentially part of Big Mom's hierarchy." And
so the Straw Hats are going to be part of the Big Mom Pirates.
Yeah. And Sanji's like, "No, I have no obligation to attend this tea party. I'm getting married to a woman I've never met. No, it's preposterous." And the Straw Hat crew has no interest in joining your side. Our captain is the kind of guy who works for anyone else. And here we get his moment. Luffy is the man who will be king of the pirates.
Everybody has to get their one. Everybody has to get their one. It's so, and again, as I just mentioned earlier, like that Sanji, again, you know, the horn dog goofball, you know, he is immediately, he hears of this marriage and says, absolutely not. You know, the concept of him or the Straw Hats, you know, kind of joining Big Mom is just that is a complete red line for him. No pun intended. That it just an absolute no sell from the start, and it just like that is we're getting some good Sanji food for what feels like the first time in hundreds of chapters.
Long time where he's not just a horn dog, which is very nice.
It's fine, you know, but like this stuff is what I really love about Sanji as a character. So
I'm sure Sanji fans got so excited once this started getting set up.
Yes,
because it's like, oh my god, finally food.
It feels like for the first time, at least since the time skip, it's like, okay, this is all business, kind of serious business Sanji, and it's good. And, you know, as cool as his declaration is, you know, and of course he's like, we're done here. You could just have Caesar. Let us go. And he's like, no. But, you know, as Bege says here, like, you know, you're all trapped inside my body. Like, I'm not asking for a yes or a no.
Yeah. Your compliance isn't required. It's like, you're captured since you're in my body. I'm taking you to Mama right now because we're already on the move. And you can see his body just stepping, just calmly walking away, and Caesar starts freaking out, and that's when we get to see like, oh, if you're in his body, you are in trouble, because all of a sudden the tablecloth wraps around Sanji, all these cannons form out of nowhere, the chandelier forms knives, axes come from the side, the candelabra has knives. It's like, oh hell.
Yeah, no, it is literally like a space-time devil fruit.
It is like, there's some possibilities here, which I'm down. I want to see more of this. But basically, nah. No matter how much you struggle, you cannot escape from Mama's tea party. That is the reality of the new world. And that's when we get to properly meet Vito the Phantom Gun.
I love his design, but the tongue, you know, like he just looks like an actual devil.
Yeah, he once again has a bit of a Moria vibe to him.
Yeah, very much so. But you know, he's, you know, despite his goofiness, you know, he also, you know, explains very plainly, you know, like a tea party invitation from Big Mom is in fact an absolute summons. You know, as they say, even the demons in hell not dare miss Mama's tea party. So you're free to go. Natural, and he has a little lola is his speech tick. So he leans in close to Sanji and says, "You're free not to go." He tells him something, and Sanji's face immediately just goes dour.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh God," and then like, "Oh, you asshole." And they're just like, "What just happened here?" And that's when he lights another cigarette, and he's like, "All right, how'd you find that out?" A foolish question. Our master is an emperor of the pirate world, one of only 4 in existence. If she says you die, you die. And this advice is for your own good. Every choice risks your lives. If you want to live on the sea without affiliating with anyone, then your best bet is to not disobey. And
I feel like I love that bit here, because it really does explain like how the 4 emperors, or at least Big Mom, and probably certainly Kaido to an extent, like run their territory, right? Like their will is absolute. And at that point, Sanji asks for a pen and paper, writes a note out, and gives it to Nami and to give to the others. And that's when he says, "Believe me, I never meant to hide anything from you. My past was never meant to come back for me again, but now it's time for me to face it once and for all." And they're like, "Wait, not us?" And, you know,
I sense a powerful presence. It's probably one of the minks. If you're ready, good luck. And that's when he kicks him out of the door, so they're free out of the castle. And they like, oh, he let his friends go, and Caesar's like, what about me?
Yeah. Well, what about him?
Yeah, because Sanji immediately grabs a gun from somebody's hands and points it at Caesar's head. He's like, don't move, or I'm going to blow your precious genius's head off. And the marriage talk solved the riddle for me. You can't kill me. What do they tell you? No cuffs and treat me gently, right? My bounty poster says I'm only to be taken alive. So if you kill me, someone's going to be real angry. And whoever wrote that on my poster has to be the same person who arranged this wedding. So
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Move and I'll mess him up and you can't hurt me. And that's when
basically.
And that's when Bege's just like, nobody leave the castle because right now there's a monster outside.
And here's Cat Viper right behind, and as unfortunate timing because he saw Peckoms lying in a pool of his own blood back there. So it's just kind of like oh.
He's like, we were attacked by some of Jack's remnants. That's all that happened, and Nami and them are trying to get screaming out to Sanji. Is like, Sanji, get out of there! Come on, tell us what's happening. Let's wait for Luffy's group to get here. And that's Sanji refuses, like, no, this is my problem. I'll be back. So tell him that. And he just smiles as Bege uses his castle tank and books it out of there.
Which is also interesting because it seems that not only is like the inside of his body a castle, he can turn his outward body into parts of a castle.
Yeah. I really want to know more about this devil fruit. It's something else.
It's really cool.
Again, I don't know which Bege is the real Bege. Interior or exterior.
Exterior. Oh, who knows?
But Brooke says, don't bother chasing after him. Even if you caught him, he does not intend to return. And all Sanji's note says is, to the crew, I'm going to meet a woman. I'll be back.
Yeah. It's interesting too that of course, as we saw earlier, like Luffy's going to take that at face value. It's like, oh, Sanji's she's gonna come back. This reminds me very much of when Robin left the crew and Sanji was like, like men can forgive the lies that women tell or something like that, or like he was the one who kind of saw through it, and now it feels like Brooke is the one who's like, he's not coming back.
Yeah. It gives me, like, as I was reading this, I was getting so many vibes of Nami at the Baratier before going off to Arlong Park. It feels so much like that. Different, of course, but so similar in other ways. Yeah.
And as we kind of see, like, the way that, again, now knowing kind of what is at least one reason where, okay, we kind of have to go to Big Mom, to Whole Cake Island now. It does kind of feel like, well, we lost a crewmate and we're not going to move on until we get him back.
Very curious about that. Oh man.
Yep.
We do have an SBS, of course. This one is just the favorite and least favorite food of each of the worst generation, and nothing really that interesting other than maybe Bonnie, because they were like, does Bonnie even dislike any kind of food? And her turns out, yes, carrots. She's not a fan of carrots, which I don't know if that means anything, but I'm taking a note of it.
I could see it meaning something.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but again, taking notes.
You seem particularly interested in Bonnie, and I can just say is.
Oh, okay. Bonnie just seems like this constant thing. It's just like, I don't know why it feels like he's setting up, but it's also like, it's a woman in a manga that they don't get to do that much. So. It's my hope. It's like maybe she gets to do something interesting because the whole setup with Blackbeard and so forth. But I don't know. It
is. I mean, I feel like now that we are a little bit of a ways into the time skip, we are like, we certainly spent a lot of time with Law, and it seems like we'll have Beach here for at least a little bit, and sort of seeing kind of. I feel like with the speech earlier too of like that's kind of how pirates have to survive in the new world. As I said, it's either join an emperor or try to take one down, and he's very much on the I'm gonna join one side.
Yeah.
Seeing how all of our supernovas act, I think, is a point of interest.
Yeah, because we have 4 that are in an alliance, one doing off his own thing, and one dealing with Kaido in some way.
Yeah.
So, curious. The other SBS, the other question in the SBS was talking about how to, what do I need to do to become a mangaka? Please teach me how to draw. And that's when Oda advertises this fun little DVD that one of his previous former editors, or not assistants, I believe, worked on. That actually got behind the scenes footage of the Jump artists working on their manga, so they can sort of have a kind of lesson, which is kind of cool.
I wonder if I could track that down.
Yeah, I don't know if that's available anywhere.
That's probably super rare.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I think about it. Yeah.
Apparently, it's kind of expensive too. So.
Oh God.
So, I have no idea what it's called either. Jump Ryu, Jump Style.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Jump Ryu. Let's see if that actually brings up something. Apparently, weirdly enough, it came up in the JoJo wiki.
Awesome.
Where it is each week a different manga got the cover of it, but it's a bi-weekly booklet / DVD series released by Shueisha from January 7th, 2016 to December 31st for a total of 25 volumes, each of which included a booklet and a DVD. Each issue focuses exclusively on a single manga creator who currently draws or has drawn for Weekly Shonen Jump. So, of course, can you guess who was in volume 1?
Was it Toriyama?
It was Toriyama. And
then
Kishimoto was number 2, volume 2 with Naruto. Oda was number 3, and then Kubo was for Bleach for volume 4.
Excellent. So, okay, wow. So they really just got Dragon Ball and the Big 3 straight off.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
If this is 2016, then like Naruto and Bleach are both over by that point.
I think so.
That's crazy.
Man, I kind of want to track these down. These are
that sounds really cool, right?
Yeah, because volume 6 was Assassination Classroom.
Oh,
you say Matsui. Horikoshi got volume 7 with My Hero Academia. Takahashi got with Yu-Gi-Oh! In volume 8.
Oh, okay. Now I have to see this.
Kentaro
excellent.
Yabuki for To Love Ryu got.
Yeah.
I'm sure that one's interesting.
Yeah, he did a Black Cat. That's not as pervy.
I enjoyed Black Cat. I don't remember much of it, but I did enjoy Black Cat. Volume 12 was Nobuhiro Watsuki. You can skip that one. Yeah. Murata, One Punch Man, and Aishio 21 for volume 15.
Yep. Excellent.
Let's see if the other ones stand out to me. Death Note, Bakuman for volume 19. Hunter x Hunter for Togashi and Yu Yu Hakusho in volume 21. And Araki for JoJo was the final volume, 25.
Awesome. That a book ending with Toriyama and Araki feels right.
Yeah, it's like
that feels right.
That's a pretty damn good set, honestly.
I would watch this whole thing.
Yeah, it's probably not subtitled, but man,
I'd power through it.
Yeah. Just to see them in their offices drawing, because even Oda said it's like, I normally wouldn't let this happen, but because it was him, I was like, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool stuff.
Absolutely.
But let's go ahead and get to chapter 814. Let's go see the Cat Viper, and time to check out how Drum Kingdom's doing, and about the same, except we got new helmet designs. Which are antlers.
They're all exactly. I love that the doctors are still doing this thing with their hands up.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's
God,
great.
I adore Decks of the World, man. This is some of the best stuff. Oh, and I love Dr. Correa. She has like a flame pattern on her pant leg now. I think that's new.
I think so. I don't know where exactly where that came from, but that's what that's inspired by. It makes me think of Sanji, really. But I guess she did take care of Sanji.
Yeah, a little bit. And I guess, wait, how pre-time skip, she was 149?
Something like that.
So I was kind of like, wait, how old is she now? Would she be 151?
Yeah, gosh, I can't remember her exact age. Looks like she always had the flame pattern. Because I looked it up.
Fair enough.
On this one, she is 141 after the time skip. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was off by 10.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Cool.
I love that woman. But into the chapter itself, we get a little song from Brooke. We're going to see the cat viper. It apparently has its own story behind it, as we learn in one of the SPSs. But yeah, it's cat viper who suggests is like, nah, they're saying they want you to forget this happened. Take a hint. Don't do this. I'll take care of Peckoms. Don't want the day folks worrying over nothing. So we'll take care of this. And it's like, oh, he's a little sweetheart, and we get this again full on song about him. And it's like, oh, is that what the cat viper is really like? No, not really. It's an image song.
Yes, and now we have Luffy trying to break down the news here that Sanji says he's gonna beat a woman. It means he's gonna get married. Well, not necessarily. But it says here he'll be back. So I guess we're gonna have a new crew member if he brings his wife with him.
His bride is the daughter of an emperor. I suppose that means we'd be working under the Big Mom pirates. It's like, what? No.
Well, and I love while Luffy is reacting to all this, he's bonking poor Warnie.
Oh no. It's like, Brooke said, it's like he rejected that offer right on the spot. So it makes me wonder if this wedding is something inescapable. That's right. Knowing his personality, what if he wants to cut himself loose from us? Well, it's like immediately Luffy's like, he's quitting? That's even worse. He had the chance to toss us out to freedom, so he could have escaped too if he wanted. But the fact that he wrote a letter shows that he was convinced he needed to go. So the key to all of this is his family. It's his dad or his mom or his siblings. They used to be in North Blue, and then they made their way to the East Blue, and now are in the new world. So pretty wild story there. And of course, naturally,
yes,
Robin.
Robin.
I've heard the name Vince Smoke before.
Yeah, I'm sure she's heard everything before.
But interestingly enough, here Zora's just like, whatever.
Oh yeah, of course.
If he does just vanish on us, he'll owe us a final thanks for everything. Also, sorry about the trouble. So just think about it. We're currently on a course that cannot be changed. Remember what Caesar said about his business. Doflamingo's biggest trading partner for Smile was Kaido. When we destroyed the research lab on Punk Hazard, that got Doflamingo mad. And now we've destroyed the factory on Dressrosa. The next guy down the line to snap on us is Kaido of the Four Emperors. So just like Jack, the guy who wrecked this place, he's not some far-off menace. It's only a matter of time before we have to fight Kaido. So the reason we're aligned with Traffy is for the fight ahead. And Kaido's got his sights set on Kinemon's group for some reason. So, we can't waste time with Big Mom. It's like we can't piss off two of them.
Yeah, and of course, Zoro's thinking here is, perfectly logical, but it's also, it's not just that he's being a little hater for Sanji, but
he
does
have Nami's the
point.
one sticking up for him.
I do too, actually. That is like they have, they're at each other's throat, or mostly Nami's at Sanji's throat, while Sanji's trying to simp. But they have that dynamic, but like truly she cares.
Mm-hmm. And I like that. It's nice to have that element to it. And of course, Luffy decides like, okay, we can't figure it out ourselves, so let's just go ask him. It's like, wait, you already picked a fight with Big Mom. You can't just do that. Without a plan or some muscle at our back, we'll just get crushed. She is an emperor. It's like, then we'll just go quietly. And that's when Chopper's like, well, maybe there is a way to go after him. So the Big Mom's pirates have left a significant asset behind. So if he should wake, we could learn something new. So let's go talk to him. And we all know where that's going immediately.
Yes, of course.
But time to go for the Guardian's dwelling where, get the big welcome to the Straw Hats. Everybody's excited. The guys who were previously trying to fight Luffy are just apologies. It's like, hey, it's just the rules that we had to fight you. But, we're cool
Sanji's, sorry, not Sanji. Luffy's like, yeah, man, there's no worries.
And we get to meet this Pedro, this treetop Pedro, who was the one who was able to keep his presence hidden. And, it's the... this guy's cool.
Oh yeah. Pedro is immediately cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like, Luffy can't get Peckham's name right. He's like Cat Viper and Lion Viper, sure.
Yeah. But
Pedro gets in real close. He's like, Sanji's a good fellow. I only wish to help, and he's just real close on Luffy.
Yeah, he's just bunching up on him. That's great.
And Chopper's ready to check in on Cat Viper for a variety of reasons, so he's going to head there. And that's when this deer lady says, hey, I'll show you the way, Dr. Chopper, and rubs up against him and is like, oh, Chopper.
Chopper's got a girlfriend.
Yeah. Usopp's just like, why'd you freeze up? It's like, I'm not frozen. This way. It's like, okay. It's like, Chopper can find love thanks to a man.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've never seen Chopper show attraction. He's just been a pure little boy this whole time, but now that he sees one of his own, he can't help himself. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's like, Chopper can get himself a girlfriend. That's good for him.
Yeah.
Of course, he immediately gets upset when he learns that Cat Viper is bathing right now, and
yes, he's the
translator
complete opposite. Yes.
What'd you expect? But the translator had to have had fun with this because I swear he's singing the meow mix sign where he's just going, meow, 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 meow. Yeah. And then
that's what I like to think it is.
And then he says, I love lasagna, which he is eating something, which,
yeah,
you know what? That makes sense. And then he has dropped the line. It's such a fancy feast. It's like, I know what you're doing, translator.
One after the other
Good
the other.
on you.
He's just... I love it because it is a complete flip of like, when you saw him originally, like, oh wait, this guy's kind of badass, like he's huge, and now he's just living it up. And of course Chopper is like, you can't take a bath yet, your wounds aren't healed, you have to eat light meals. Why are you using your left arm?
I love how he has a tape to put a spoon in his cut off arm so he can still use it to scoop up the lasagna.
Because it's like these guys are getting crucified. They've lost parts of their body, and here Cat Viper is just like, wee.
Oh my gosh. And he's making jokes like, oh, I can't even give you a round of applause.
Oh my goodness.
And I love just like, I will repay this debt. Believe it or not, I'm a man of honor, pride, and compassion. Oh, there's a ball. Yay, a ball.
And then he starts bleeding out because he opens up his wounds again.
He's like, I'm only in this bed because I decided to be. It's like, I love characters like this. It sets up so much good comedy.
Yeah. I think the way that this joke caps off, where he's just like, hey, you, get that cat teaser over here. And you have Robin playing with him with a cat toy. It's just perfect.
I love it. It's adorable. Chopper's at the end of his rope.
Yep.
But yeah, I wonder what Peckham... Oh wait, I know what Peckham's power. We said about his power. He's like, my power helped me avoid half the damage. So he must have put up his turtle shell to protect his insides.
Yeah.
So yeah. So sorry about that. Can't escape the wedding now. I was like, well, that's the thing. Who decided on the wedding? And Peckham's reveals that'd be our mama and the father of the Vinsmoke family. So that's when we get the clarification. It is Sanji's father setting this whole thing up, and he's a very famous man in the underworld. The Vinsmoke family is, well, to put it bluntly, a family of killers.
Whoa, that would kind of explain why Brooke and Robin would know about them.
Yeah.
So it seems that Sanji's family is quite famous.
Yeah, I get the sense of assassins, which immediately brought to mind the little bit I read of Hunter x Hunter, because one of the characters there was was a member of an assassin family, so it immediately made me think of that. But I think they were also trying to get out of the family, but also still a really good assassin. So
right, yeah, and I guess that would make sense too, because I feel like it's maybe not always. I feel like Sanji at his best, I feel like, is kind of like maybe the one who leans more towards espionage, kind of the one who leans towards being a little undercover. I feel like maybe the last time we really saw that was like Water 7.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah,
he's very, very good at disappearing and showing up exactly when he needs to, and it's some of his most badass moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But we do have an SBS, and we have an explanation for the Cat Viper song. So this is the source of the Cat Viper who appeared in 806, a song by none other than Cho, the voice actor for Brooke. I'm a super, super, super fan of his, and I'm so fascinated by this, I can't sleep. So yes, the book contains both the first appearance of Cat Viper and Brooke's song about him. If you search on YouTube for Neko Mamushi song and watch the video, it's sung by Cho, who's Brooke's voice actor. The melody and lyrics were penned by Choko, his wife. He just happened to have sung this song years ago, and I liked it so much that I asked him, can I have Brooke sing this song? With their permission, the Cat Viper has taken life in the manga, although his style is a bit different due to the story reasons. So, the origin of Cat Viper's name was from the song that Oda just really liked from Brooke's voice actor.
That's kind of incredible, actually.
Yeah. And I love how it's like it's an image song because it has actually nothing to do with them. It's just like the
even the song has lore behind it. Good God.
I don't know exactly what this other question means when by verbal smackdown, whether it's insults or something else, but they counted them out, and there's definitely been a lot. But
man,
okay, whatever.
Obsessive fans.
Yep, they are out there. But let's go ahead and get to our final chapter for this set, 815. Take Me With You, and Volume 9. We got Kingdom of Alabasta. This is just.
It's perfect.
This is my preferred vision of Vivi.
Yeah. Is this our first look at her time skip design?
I think so. I honestly can't tell much of a difference. Her design might be, her hair might be a bit longer, but I can't tell a difference otherwise.
Has Karoo gotten bigger?
It's hard to tell with him being off.
It's hard to tell. Yeah,
but I do like how he's cutting out, like actually cutting out, like they're making a scrapbook.
Yeah.
Exploits.
It's just
that's fun.
Anytime VV is on screen, I miss you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad she's such a constant presence.
Yeah. Even if she's not here, she's here, and that she's not just like some forgotten ally.
Yeah. So, and. That's all the more impressive considering we left her at chapter like 200.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my. But into the chapter itself, time to get a bit of an explanation about this family of killers. They're known as the Germa 66, also called the Warmongers. Well,
as
go ahead.
As Peckoms says it out, double six is
Germa double six.
Double six.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and Nami thought it was an imaginary evil army. It's like, no, it's real. And standing atop the organization is the Vinsmoke family. Their boss is Blackleg's old man. So,
Yeah. And I love Luffy's response.
I don't know what that means, but also I don't care.
I want to clip that panel out.
Yes, that is Luffy to a T. Is like, what we want to know is if he's coming back or not. If he's getting married, that's fine. But what I don't want is that that is to cause us to be Big Mom's followers. So if that happens, you guys have to work for me instead.
I love that. Peckoms is so shocked by this, he falls over, starts foaming at the mouth. And then I forgot
he takes off his
about
glasses with his cute eyes and he goes, "I will ruin you."
I forgot that was his gimmick, so I saw that again. I was like, oh my god, the tiny little eyes.
He's like, you need to remember, she's one of the 4 emperors. He's like, yeah? Does not care. And Luffy just laughs like, your eyes are really cute.
he's trying to regain his composure. He just can't do it.
And he's crawling back into bed. He's like, okay, just as you saw with Sanji leaving, Mama's tea party's invitations are impossible to ignore. If he turns her down, within days he'll be delivered a present. But it's a present for but if it's a present for humiliating Mama, you won't like what's inside. The box will contain the head of someone close to the recipient. It could be one of the Straw Hats, or someone from the restaurant back in the East Blue, or someone from the Kamabaka Queendom. He knows. They have it broken down. They know the connections, and that is dangerous.
Yeah, and as he says, like, that is true power, Straw Hat, and that is I feel like really getting into kind of the. Again, it's not just the physical strength, but it is sort of like it's the underground kind of political power of Big Mom's empire.
Because when you hear like, oh, the head could be one of the Straw Hats, like, I think they'll be fine. And then you see Barate and like, oh no. And then you come to go even a step further to the Kamabaka Queendom. It's like, even that, like they know
right,
about
which was supposed to be secret, really. That nobody knew what the Straw Hats, were like. Nobody knew that they were split up for 2 whole years.
Yeah.
Or let alone where they were. So the fact that they know that is actually kind of bad.
And it just immediately like makes sense that Sanji had to go off. That is the only way to keep everybody safe. Yes, and it's even more poignant considering we just saw the Baratier guys in the decks of the world.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that does kind of that kind of hits a little bit different now.
And he tries to, like, we're setting up how dangerous the Four Emperors are, because when a person with overwhelming power threatens you, the future is set in stone. Who can resist it? That is the meaning of the Four Emperors. There is no other option. And that's when Peckham says, but let me assure you one thing. You will not be placed beneath the influence of our crew. Like, this is a political marriage. Mama always still has to deal with new followers through blood. In other words, this wedding is a ritual that binds the Vinsmoke and Charlotte families by blood. It's not meant to draw in the Straw Hats. So the moment the wedding is made official, Sanji is no longer your crewmate. And that's
which, of course, Luffy
is like, no,
unacceptable.
that is not part of the deal. Sanji's on my crew. And it's like, no, Sanji's obviously going to refuse that wedding. And he's like, right in the presence of Mama and the vicious Vinspokes, who's to say he'll live that long afterwards? And he's like, okay, what are you going to do now? It's like, well, when I recover, I'm going to go back. That beige brat thinks he killed me, but it ain't over between us. And Luffy's immediately like, take me with you. And he declares to Nami, I'm going alone. Just like with Robin and the others said, if we go as a group, it's like declaring war. And we don't have time for that stuff right now. So if I go together with him, we might be able to sneak into the tea party, ruin the ceremony, and get him back. And I love how Carrot's like, ooh, fun.
Oh, yeah. And then Peckham's just like, you think I'm just going to guide an enemy into our midst?
And this is what got my gears turning about Whole Cake.
Uh-huh.
I'm of the impression now that Big Mom is not the villain of Whole Cake, at least not the final villain. Because I always had this question of, okay, how is Luffy's not afraid to hit a woman? We saw it right off the bat with
Alvida.
Like,
he's
hit a woman before. But the fights that happen now are much more drag out fights. I feel like it'd be a little awkward for Oda maybe to draw something like that in that way of Luffy versus Big Mom. The Vinsmoke family and Sanji's dad provides a new opportunity for this. And so I am of the impression right now that that's our big villain for Whole Cake is Vinsmoke. And somehow by defeating Vinsmoke and revealing something, that Luffy might actually become allies with Big Mom. Which even ties into certain things that that may have been set up back all the way in Thriller Bark that I do not know whether or not we did or did not talk about on this. The gears are turning here of this, like my entire expectation of what Whole Cake is going to be. Where it's just like, yeah, we're going to fight Big Mom. It's like, no, I don't think we are. We might fight members of Big Mom, but I don't think we're fighting Big Mom herself.
Yeah, I think my pitch for this, which is to just sort of add on to the things that you're throwing out there, is that like if Whole Cake Island is kind of leading up to being kind of a reconnaissance mission, right? It's Luffy, at least as intention is right now, to go by himself because we still have to deal with Kaido, right? Like, we've got Kaido bearing down our necks, so we can't go in guns blazing. And we saw all of the effort that it took for half of the Straw Hats and a ragtag team just to take down Doflamingo, of like a ragtag team of revolutionaries, basically, of people who all had this built-up anger. I think going into the actual territory of an emperor, you're probably not going to get allies as easily.
No.
So I think that could maybe level expectations in some way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think dealing with an emperor has to be a rung higher than dealing with even Doflamingo.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously with the whole threat of Kaido, they as Zoro has said, they can't go in guns blazing. There's nothing they can do as far as that. So now the question for me becomes, who is joining Luffy? Is it that, because I don't think it's going to be Luffy by himself. And I also don't know if they're going to have the other group where it's Chopper, Nami, Brook joining them, joining him, and let the others behind. It doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. Well, Carrot seems kind of interested.
Yeah, it's like, I think I might understand. I think I got a hint of why Carrot's a bit of a popular character. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I am very, very curious about this, and man, so I hate to bring reference to it because it's tainted now. But I did as a kid I did read Rurouni Kenshin, enjoyed Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
But it really reminds me of that
fair.
arc where it's been so long I forget the main character's name, has to go to the city where the bandage guy is like taken over, but he's all by himself, but he meets this young girl that sort of joins up with him. And I can almost imagine Luffy and Carrot being in that same situation. I don't know if you've read Rurouni Kenshin.
Only in just small bits and pieces. So I don't have much of a frame of reference, but like that we're already kind of at this point where like kind of who's coming with him?
Yeah.
Like, because clearly it can't be the whole Straw Hat crew. Like we have established that like that kind of can't happen.
Mm-hmm. But there's other wrinkles that we're going to get as we go along this chapter. So we'll see how that goes along. So he basically has to wait for Peckoms to get healed up, and Peckoms is like, I'm too injured to argue against this, and that's when Luffy runs outside and sees Zoro. So I was like, were you listening to all that? I was. I bet you're worried about Sanji, huh? Don't make me kick you. I told you to let that idiot go. Oh, gosh.
Zoro's made up his mind.
But they come to this house, and of course Cat Viper's along with them because he can't stay in bed. I just got better. Yep. No, you haven't.
Yeah. Yes, and I love, of course, like Luffy's like, yeah, he's huge, and then he just slams into everybody with his garchu of gratitude.
And Zoro's all pissed off, and it's like, yeah, he needs blood. He's spitting up blood. Get him. I need a transfusion.
And then, of course, Law walks into all of this nonsense.
Yep. Time to properly introduce the Heart Pirates. And we finally get a number of how many are on his crew. 20 strong.
That's pretty cool. And I love that. You go.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I love that because he's Law's in the foreground posing all cool and stuff, and then you have all of them in the background doing like super Sentai poses, like
being all goofy, and
it's the perfect contrast.
It is pretty great. But the thing that got me was I love how we have this pirate alliance between Law and Luffy, and between their two crews before Luffy got his whole army at the end of Dressrosa is only 29 people against the Emperor, against Kaido.
Yeah, it's fine. He was He was really banking on that D. I thought that in my head, and I said, that's a horrible thing to say, but I said it anyway, so here we go.
There it is. It is a good joke also. It's like, meet my crew. Yo, we need to talk. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, and then they're all, boo, we're being disrespected.
But
no, I love Law's crew. They're hilarious.
Oh, they're
weirdly.
So funny. And of course, Law is like, Sanji went to Big Mom's. Like, yeah. It's like, how'd that happen? Like, okay, I'm gonna go get him. And Luffy once again is just hanging out on top of Cat Viper.
Yeah,
just how he did to Dog Storm.
Yeah, I love. He's like, just wait on this whole fighting Kaido thing for a bit.
It's like, okay, waiting isn't the issue. It's only a matter of time before Kaido comes after us. We should have been able to hide here on Zou for a while, but now they know where we are. So if they come back for us and invade the island, then what becomes of this country? And all the minks outside are just like, they're so kind-hearted. So, are you guys really pirates? You actually care about our sakes? And it's time for a feast. So it's time for a party.
Chopper's like, no.
But they're all partying it out, and that's when we have our three responsible adults: Brooke, Robin, and Frankie. And I love how Frankie has a whale hairstyle.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
It's like,
he's hanging with the locals.
We can't let the samurai in. The riser they seek is not here. There's no point in coming. So we can't let them see it. It'll just upset everyone. So we don't want to have to fight them or anything like that. They'll likely turn on us. So we can't let it happen. The next morning comes, Conjuro and Kinemon make it to the top. They've arrived. Journey of many trials and travails, and the little monkey guy's with them. And unfortunately, all three of our responsible adults are asleep.
Yep. And I love this, like, they must have been so worried about us.
It's not trouble them so. And as the painting phases in on top of them, the little monkey fellow is, of course, freaked out. I was like, I only seek a warrior known as Raizo. I don't know. And he runs off. It's like, I got to report this at once. It's a ape pawing. It's bananas. It's samurai. And at this point, I'm like, oh, this is how we have the whole Straw Hats can't leave a country peacefully.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so, as of course, we were kind of like, we needed to worry about this for a bit. We now that the samurai are here, like, oh, this is gonna be a little awkward.
Yeah, I have no idea how that's actually gonna turn out in terms of fights or what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful they're understanding. We might get some more on Momo, but in some ways I see this as
it doesn't look good, right?
Yeah. This feels like a way that the Straw Hats and the Heart Pirates have to leave much
have to make
sooner.
A decision.
And it might be that they decide to maybe things will be clarified, and they'll be like, this is our backstory, and this is why we're have these dealings and why we're meeting up with people. But my guess is that whatever crew does not go with Luffy is going to start heading for Wano.
Yeah, it's clear kind of at this point. Yeah. I feel like that's reasonable enough to assume at this point, because again, now that we are kind of getting the setup to Whole Cake, it is very much we need to take as few people as possible. Luffy's ready to go on his
side mission. I never expected it to be a side mission.
Side mission. Yeah. And that's kind of what's really cool about the Zou arc, right? It's kind of setting up both arcs kind of simultaneously, and it is sort of building towards, like, we have to deal with two of these emperors at the same time.
Which is such an ask.
It really, really is. Yeah. And again, you would think that it would just be kind of one after the next, like, okay, Big Mom and Kaido, and then,
we fight Big Mom, we get our standing up even higher, and now it's time to take on Kaido, that sort of idea.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
It's complicated. Turns out it's complicated. And now that we finally have our hook for Whole Cake Island, I'm so excited because there's some this good food that we've finally been waiting for. It feels like everything that we've kind of been like, I feel like the two of us have we like Sanji as a character, but he lets us down sometimes, It's like he's a character who can be hard to like sometimes. You're just like, you want him to be better. And this is finally the chance to get something that's like, okay, we're finally going to address some of this. We're going to expand his backstory. We're going to get him married, apparently, which I feel like is going to make for all of these interesting wrinkles for like how he handles women.
So curious what this pudding looks like.
Yeah, it's perfect.
For Sanji's sake.
Yeah. Certainly.
Oh my.
For his sake. I mean, maybe it could be a good way for him to grow if it turns out that she's like an Okama or something. But
I'll be honest. This is a really good setup. I like that it's like we have two different types of arcs going back to back here, where we have one that's Alabasta, like where it's kind of connected to the Straw Hats, but it's definitely more about the people they're helping than the Straw Hats themselves. And this is more like your Arlong parks or your Enos lobbies, where it's more directly connected to the Straw Hats, and we're helping them more intently. So in my head, after just getting through Dressrosa, how can Whole Cake be better when you had just something as wonderful as Dressrosa? But then I think to how much we love Arlong and Enos lobby, and it's like, well,
yeah. It definitely leans more in that direction than Whole Cake, or rather than Dressrosa. And I feel like that's sort of what I was trying to hint at when I said earlier. It was like, well, I personally like Whole Cake more than Dressrosa, but Dressrosa has the scope. But as we're starting to see, Whole Cake might be a little more personal. And I think that they do two different things very well. Is a good it's a good starting point for sure. Again, not that simple, but
it's definitely going to get complex. We're going to get I definitely get a sense of what Whole Cake like. Dressrosa almost provides the template for how to deal with Whole Cake, where you get there, you get the weirdness of what this place is like, you get some new characters and introduce and how this all goes. Much more so getting the Vinsmoke family and how that whole thing is involved, and slowly get Sanji's backstory revealed until we have some sort of confrontation. There's finer details going on there, but I can definitely see it matching sort of the pattern of Dressrosa to some degree. Obviously, details changed as far as what's actually happening, but same sort of setup, which we've talked about the similar One Piece setup before, where they arrive, they learn of a problem, they beat the problem, they move on.
Right, yeah. And as we were going through Dressrosa, we were kind of like, it's like Alabasta on steroids, basically.
So,
yep.
Good stuff. I'm so excited, but
dude, this is it. It's always so good for how short it is, isn't it?
Right. It is our new Jaya, where it just sets up stuff so well.
Yep.
We do have amazingly we do have an SBS.
Oh, right.
And it's it's talking about I want to know about Gambia's grandma back in the country. I bet she looks nice and sweet. So we get a picture of what grandma looks like, and her advice is don't do all your killing at once. And basically she's not actually anybody's grandma. It's just a nice old lady that ran a candy shop that all these troublesome boys hung around, and they got very fond of her. So she's full of folk remedies and wisdom, and always been a source of advice given their lack of knowledge about the sea. Sometimes it's useful, usually not. So, and then just somebody asking a bit of background detail about a guy checking for missing balls. Let's just leave it at that.
Dear God.
Oh, Oda, you and your background gags. But yeah, I'm so excited for what
everything's starting to fall into place.
And there's still I like how again our 5-chapter format keeps winning, where we got the entirety of the Sanji backstory just covered in these 5 chapters. Now it's the
Yep.
samurai situation that we get into next time.
Yep.
It's so well segmented I had no idea it'd be this well set up when I came up with this number. Like,
Yeah,
5
certainly.
just seems like a reasonable amount of chapters to talk about per episode. That's all I thought about.
And it
It's
turns out
even.
Yeah, I feel like it's worked out specifically for One Piece. I feel like there are other manga where 5 would feel too short potentially. But no, this has been great. I knowing what I know, I feel like next week might be kind of a big one.
And you were talking about this one, so
Yeah, there are at least like 3 like there's like probably 4 or 5 things that I know that have to happen before we leave. I think there's a good chance we get most of them next week.
Oh my god! I don't even know how much is left of Zoe.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be done, but we're a good chunk of the way through.
It feels like we're close to the end of Zoe.
Yeah.
It's about time to move on to that next bit.
Yeah. Now that we know why we need to go to Whole Cake, it's like, all right, we got it, so it's time to go.
Yep. Whew. So with that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 811 to 815 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or simply BitNerd on BlueSky. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I am Brandon Bovia on Twitter and BlueSky, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job, and just doing more of that. Ready to. Oh man, this stretch of One Piece is so good. I'm so hooked. I can't wait to come back next week and talk about more of it. Oh,
me too. So, if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derrick Bittner. That's DerrickBitner to listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early, as well as patron-exclusive bonus episodes. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 816 to 820 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Lasagna. Get in my meow.
Hey, what's the matter with you?